All right, let's dive into one of the biggest questions there is. How do you actually build a happy life? I mean, really build it. Today, we're going to look at the science behind happiness and, question whether the blueprints we're all given really make any sense.
So let's just get right to it. If you were designing your life from the ground up, with the main goal being lasting happiness, what would you use? What are the non-negotiables, foundational pillars? And what's just, nice to have? It's a huge question, for sure, but we're going to break it down together. You know the script, right? Most of us are handed this blueprint pretty early on. And the main instruction, the big goal, is just accumulate wealth. The whole idea is that more money will lead to more success, which leads to more freedom, and boom, happiness. It's a really simple plan.
But, and this is a big but, when you actually look at the data, the story gets a whole lot more interesting. It turns out that simple get-rich blueprints, well, it's missing some pretty critical pieces for building a life that's genuinely happy. So researchers found this really fascinating pattern. It turns out that up to a certain point, somewhere around 75 to 100 grand a year, money absolutely makes you happier. Of course it does. It gets rid of the day-to-day stress about food, rent, safety, the basics. But here's the kicker. Beyond that number, the link between having more money and feeling more joy every day gets really, really weak.
So if a giant salary doesn't automatically make you happier, what's the real point of money? Well, it all comes down to this word, autonomy. See, the real power isn't buying a fancy car, it's buying control. It's having the freedom to leave a job you hate or to spend a Tuesday afternoon with your kids. It's about buying back your own time. And that leads us to a really important question. We've all felt that little rush from buying something new, but why does it disappear so fast? If we're making more money just to buy more things, why doesn't the happiness stick around? The answer is actually a really funny quirk in how our brains are wired.
Yeah, scientists actually have a name for it, the hedonic treadmill. The best way to think about it is that your brain kind of has a default happiness setting. When you buy a cool new gadget, you get a little spike of joy. But your brain adapts incredibly fast. That new thing just becomes normal, and you slide right back to your baseline. And then what? You start looking for the next thing to buy? We have all lived this. I call it the new phone effect. You finally get it, and for a week or two, it's incredible. But pretty soon, it's just your phone. The magic is gone. You're right back where you started, and that treadmill just keeps on spinning. It's proof that trying to find lasting happiness through stuff, well, it's a race you can't win. So, if buying more stuff is basically a dead end, where do we turn? This quote right here, this points us in the right direction. All the research shows us that we need to make a different kind of investment, away from things and toward people. And get this, they actually tried to put a dollar value on what good relationships are worth to our happiness. The result is just staggering. They found that having strong, genuine connections with friends and family gives you a happiness boost that's equal to earning an extra $100,000 a year. Think about that return on investment for a second. Now, this is a really crucial idea. It turns out not all happiness is the same. There's what I call cake happiness. That's the immediate, simple pleasure you get from eating a treat or playing a game. It feels good, but it's gone in a flash. Then there's homework happiness. This is that deep, long-term fulfillment you get from mastering a skill or helping someone out. It can be hard work, but that's the kind that really sticks with you. A good life needs both. And here is the truly wild part. That homework happiness, the kind that's all about purpose and meaning, it doesn't just make you feel better mentally. It actually makes you physically better. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose have stronger immune systems. It's this incredible mind-body connection you just can't ignore. Okay, so let's wrap this all up. If you wanted a simple cheat sheet for building a happier life, based on everything we know from the research, this would be it. First, chase autonomy, not just a fat or paycheck. Second, invest in your strong ties. A few real friends are worth more than thousands of followers. Third, stop relying on stuff and start collecting experiences and skills. And last, don't be afraid to do hard things. That's where the real fulfillment is. This is the actual architecture. And that really just leaves us with one final thing to think about. It is so easy to get caught up in the game of building financial wealth, but it is so important to step back and ask yourself, are you also building a wealthy life? One that's rich in freedom, rich in connection, and rich in meaning. What's in your blueprint?